What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, there's something invisible living inside your body that's more powerful than any disease, more devastating than any physical ailment, and more controlling than any outside force you've ever encountered? What if everything you've been struggling with, that chronic pain that won't go away, that anxiety that grips you in the middle of the night, that exhaustion that follows you like a shadow, isn't actually caused by what you think it is? You see, we've been taught to believe that healing comes from the outside. We chase pills, treatments, therapies, looking for that magic solution that will finally fix what's broken. But what if nothing is actually broken? What if your body has been trying to heal you all along, desperately attempting to restore balance? And there's just one single thing standing in its way? But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Here's the truth that most people will never discover. Your body was engineered with an intelligence so profound, so sophisticated, that it grew you from a single microscopic cell into the complex being you are today. Every breath you take, every heartbeat, every moment of cellular regeneration happens without you consciously thinking about it. And this isn't magic. This is the built-in healing mechanism that exists within every single person watching this right now. But here's the disturbing part. Something has hijacked this system. Has this ever happened to you? You go to sleep feeling fine, but wake up with unexplained tension in your shoulders. Or maybe you notice that certain situations make your stomach turn, your heart race, your palms sweat. Your body is screaming at you, sending signals, desperately trying to communicate something crucial. But we've learned to ignore these messages, to push through, to override what our physical form is telling us. And in doing so, we've locked ourselves in an invisible prison. The answer isn't complicated, but it's something that our modern world has trained us to ignore completely. Deep within your nervous system, there exists a single emotion that has the power to shut down your body's natural healing abilities. This emotion creates a cascade of biological responses that throw everything out of balance. Your hormones, your immune system, your cellular regeneration, everything. It's been there so long that you might not even recognize it anymore. It feels normal. It feels like just part of who you are. But what if it's not? Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover might completely transform how you understand your own body. We're about to dive into why balance, not addition, is the secret to unlocking your body's true healing potential. We're going to explore why everything you've been told about fixing your health might be keeping you stuck in the exact patterns that are making you sick. And most importantly, we're going to identify the one invisible force that's been holding your healing hostage this entire time. Because once you understand what this force is, and more importantly, how it's been controlling your body's ability to heal itself, everything changes. The question is, are you ready to see it? The force I'm talking about isn't some external enemy. It's not a virus, not a bacteria, not even stress in the traditional sense. It's something far more insidious because it operates completely under your conscious awareness, making decisions about your health without you even knowing it's there. And here's where this gets absolutely mind-blowing. Inside your body right now, there's an intelligence that's infinitely more powerful than any treatment, any medication, any therapy that exists in the modern world. Think about this for a moment. You started as a single cell, one microscopic cell that somehow knew exactly how to divide, how to specialize, how to create organs, bones, a nervous system, a brain capable of reading these words right now. Nobody taught that cell what to do. No doctor guided the process. No instruction manual existed. This wasn't random chance. This was pure intelligence expressing itself through matter. And here's the revelation that changes everything. That same intelligence never left you. It's still there, flowing through every nerve, every fiber, every molecule of your being. If you're drawn to this kind of deep, honest content that goes beyond the surface, hit that subscribe button. This channel is for people who aren't afraid to look at the uncomfortable truths and do the real inner work. Right now, as you're watching this, your heart is beating without you telling it to. Your lungs are breathing without conscious command. Your stomach is digesting. Your cells are regenerating. Your immune system is identifying and eliminating threats. Thousands of processes are happening simultaneously. orchestrated by an autonomous power that requires absolutely nothing from your thinking mind. This is the hidden truth that most people miss entirely. You have a built-in healing system that's more sophisticated than anything human science has ever created. But here's where the journey takes a dark turn. This divine energy, this godly power that wants nothing more than to keep you in perfect balance, can be completely shut down by one single mindset. When you live from a place of lack, when you operate from limitation, then when fear becomes the lens through which you see reality, you're literally creating energetic blockages that strangle this natural intelligence. It's like trying to run water through a kinked hose. The pressure is there, the flow wants to happen, but something is restricting the path. The impact of this blockage isn't subtle. It doesn't just affect one area of your life or one part of your body. It cascades through everything. Your nervous system, which should be conducting this healing energy like a symphony conductor, instead becomes a battlefield. Past trauma gets stored in your tissues. Fear creates physical tension that never releases. And slowly, day by day, your body starts fighting itself instead of healing itself. The transformation you're seeking, the freedom you desperately want, all remains just out of reach because this invisible force keeps pulling you back into familiar patterns. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic, because understanding what's happening is one thing, but recognizing how it's showing up in your actual life is where the real revelations begin. Your body has been trying to communicate with you through symptoms, through pain, through discomfort, and most people completely miss these signals because they've been trained to silence them instead of listen. Write in the comments, "I'm ready to listen," if this is resonating with you right now. Because here's what's really happening behind the scenes of your suffering. Every painful experience you've ever had, every heartbreak, every betrayal, at every moment where someone told you that you weren't enough, those events didn't just happen and disappear. They created something far more permanent. They built an identity. And this identity isn't who you actually are. It's a constructed version of yourself that was designed to protect you from ever being hurt that way again. But here's the twisted truth. This protective identity is the very thing that's keeping you trapped. Think about the decisions you make every single day. How many of them come from genuine desire, and how many come from a place of avoiding pain? When you don't pursue that relationship, that opportunity, that dream, is it because you don't want it, or because some part of you has decided that you don't deserve to have freedom and joy? This is the hidden prison that most people live in their entire lives without ever recognizing it exists. The bars are invisible, but they're absolutely real. They were forged by your parents' mistakes, by that person who broke your heart, by that failure that convinced you something fundamental was wrong with you. The impact of carrying this false identity goes deeper than you can imagine. It's not just affecting your mindset or your confidence, it's literally shaping your physical reality. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between a real threat and a perceived one. When you're living from a place of believing you deserve pain, your body responds accordingly. It stays in a constant state of alert, of protection, of defense. And this state is completely incompatible with healing. You cannot defend and heal simultaneously. It's physiologically impossible. But here's where this journey takes an unexpected turn. Your body has been trying to show you this truth all along. It's been sending you signals, messages, revelations about what's really going on inside. Every time your stomach tightens when you think about a certain person or situation, every time your shoulders tense up when faced with a specific decision, every time your heart races for no apparent reason, these aren't random reactions. These are your nervous system's way of communicating what's true. Your body is the ultimate lie detector, showing you exactly how you really feel about everything in your life. If this resonated with you on any level, go ahead and hit that like button. It's a simple way to tell me this content is connecting, and it helps others who need to hear this find their way here. The problem is that we've been conditioned to ignore these signals because they're uncomfortable. We push through the tension, we medicate the anxiety, we distract ourselves from the pain. But discomfort is information. It's your body's language, trying to guide you toward transformation. When you avoid facing these reactions, you're essentially telling your nervous system to keep holding on to the trauma, to keep maintaining the protective patterns, to keep running the same programs that are creating disease and imbalance. What most people don't realize is that working with your nervous system isn't about forcing change or willpower. It's about observation. It's about creating space to actually feel what's there without immediately trying to fix it or make it go away. This is where the real revelations happen, where you start to see the patterns that have been controlling your life from the shadows. And once you see them clearly, once you understand how they've been operating, the path forward becomes obvious. Drop a comment saying, "I see the pattern," if you're starting to recognize this in your own life. Because when you really look at what's been controlling your entire existence, when you strip away all the complexity and all the layers, you arrive at one singular truth. Fear is the only real devil that exists in this world. Not the fear of dying, not the fear of physical harm, but something far more subtle and far more destructive. It's the fear that whispers you're not worthy of love, the fear that tells you pursuing that opportunity will only lead to failure. The fear that convinces you staying small and safe is somehow protecting you from disappointment. This is the invisible force that's been making your decisions for you. Every time you didn't speak up, every time you settled for less, every time you watched someone else live the life you wanted while you stayed stuck. That wasn't wisdom or caution. That was fear operating as your master, instead of you being the master of your own journey. And here's the devastating impact. Fear doesn't just stop you from taking action in one area of your life. It creates a systematic paralysis that infects everything. Your relationships become guarded. Your career becomes a safe prison. Even your health becomes something you're afraid to truly transform, because what if you fail? What if you try everything and nothing works? And better to not try at all than to face that possibility. But the hidden truth that will set you free is this. The cage you're living in doesn't actually exist. Let me paint you a picture that perfectly illustrates what's happening. Imagine a full-grown elephant, powerful enough to uproot trees, capable of incredible strength and freedom. Yet this elephant stands docile, tied to nothing more than a flimsy plastic chair. How is this possible? Because when that elephant was young, it was tied to something it couldn't break free from. It pulled and struggled and failed over and over, until eventually it accepted a fundamental belief: I cannot escape this circle. Years later, even though the elephant could destroy that plastic chair in seconds, it doesn't even try. The conditioning runs so deep that the physical reality no longer matters. The cage is entirely psychological, but it's absolutely effective. This is your life right now. The limitations you're experiencing, the boundaries you believe you cannot cross, the transformation you think is impossible. These aren't based on actual reality. They're based on past conditioning. Somewhere along your journey, you tried to break free and failed. Maybe you tried to heal and didn't get results. Maybe you pursued a dream and got rejected. Maybe you opened your heart and got destroyed. And in that moment, your mind made a decision.